was honored at the NAACP Award, and he has been on the front line.
Yes, he has.
And Vibe magazine, they touted his acceptance speech as thunderous. Now, I don't know if you heard his acceptance speech.
Amazing.
But he read, wrote, and erased all of the people that have tried to erase our history and our place in this world and in this society. And for whatever reason, it seems like, well, no, stupidity has reigned supreme. You know how KRS stands for knowledge reigns supreme? It's basically SRS right now. Stupid reigns supreme. You know, like Space Lasers is out here running amok. The Space Laser team is running amok. And the fact that these people are in public office, these people are in positions of power, that is scary. But lo and behold, Ben Crump is out here
fighting,
guns blazing.
Yes.
And unfortunately, some of us are gunning for him, calling him my Uncle Tom, calling him an opportunist, calling him everything possible, but they ain't doing nothing for the culture. They ain't doing not a damn thing for anything regarding the upward movement of Black people.
Yep.
So just to name a few things that Ben Crump has been spearheading lately, he has filed a legal action against the FBI and the U.S. government, state of New York, for the wrongful death of Malcolm X, the murder of Malcolm X, the correlation between cancer and hair relaxers for Black women, because you know, one thing we have done for years is relax our hair. So he has brought lawsuits against the companies that have produced hair relaxers and talcum powder, excuse me. He has also brought litigation against Ron DeSantis and his wedgie in the front and back of his pants for not wanting African American studies to be taught in the state of Florida. How are you deficient of melanin? You pick your nose and you have a wedgie in the front and the back of your pants, and you don't want African American studies to be taught in. You should want somebody to help you with swag. You should want somebody to teach you.
And also add, he's also a part of the Flint
also a part of the Flint water crisis. And those are just a small portion of the things that he has been active in litigating. Not to mention George Floyd, Tyree Nichols, Breonna Taylor. We can go on and on and on regarding the things that Ben Crump has been at the forefront of. But when it comes to a national movement regarding us, Ben Crump has literally put his self on the line, because you know, when you literally target,
you are on the front
U.S. government.
He receives death threats on a regular.
I was gonna bring that up. People like Ben Crump, you know, were sent by God, and you know, these death threats. I always pray for people like him, because you often wonder, when is their time up? because this society is so evil, and anything that promotes us as Black people moving ahead, society doesn't like that. It's like, no, 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 shut up and dribble. Don't say too much. Entertain us. We've always been the entertainers of society. Oh, we've been the shucking and jiving ones. So when we start speaking knowledge and start speaking up for ourselves, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And even not to celebrities. And the sad part about this whole movement of Ben Crump is he's, besides Al Sharpton, and it used to be, and it still is Farrakhan, but Farrakhan got older.
Right.
Not too many Ben Crumps out there. There are, but it's not to that magnitude. And that should not be. And that's the part that bothers me because, when I look at other cultures and I see how, I know there's a lot of issues with Kanye West and the Jews, but I admire the Jews where they do not play when it comes down to their communities. If everybody has $10, we're putting our $10 together and we're gonna build together. There are too many Black celebrities that are millionaires that have not come together as a unit to bring our culture, to move our culture forward. And the reason that is because society has put fear in their hearts. So celebrities, somebody spoke about this the other day. I saw this. So when this person said it, I was like, you know what? Then it makes a lot of sense. Celebrities, Black celebrities are only allowed to be millionaires and to entertain us. But when they start speaking knowledge and they start trying to move us forward, there's a problem. And then they get canceled. They get blackballed. They don't get parts. So it's kind of like they're blackmailed into just being entertainers. And, once in a while they'll put a little fist up, but then if they don't put it up too high, they put it halfway, because if they put it too high, they can't get those parts, they can't get those songs. So society has made it where we are not able to fight for ourselves. So for Ben Crump to be on this podium by himself is sad, when there are so many other celebrities, other people of his status that can join together, and he is kind of by himself. And I apologize to anybody who's watching this who's been fighting behind the scenes, but I'm just talking about people who have the stature of Ben Crump, where you don't really see them on the forefront like he is. I know he has an entourage that helps him. He's not doing this by himself, but anyone at his level, there should be more people on his level that are fighting for us. And they don't have that ability to do that because a lot of people are scared. And you know what happens too? People have children. So, when they showed the clip on NAACP and I saw his little daughter, I thought about it. I was like, wow, that little girl one day may wake up and hear that her father was assassinated because he spoke his mind.
God forbid.
Huh?
God forbid. I said God forbid.
I'm not claiming that. I'm not claiming that, please. I'm not putting that in the air, but I'm speaking reality that anytime we've had Black leaders, they've been either, and people at Ben Crump got to be very careful, because if he look at a woman too long, oh yeah, he cheating on his wife. He has to live a straight and narrow path, because if he does not, he has to do his taxes correctly. Everything has to be perfect in that man's life, because if it's not perfect, they will cancel him immediately to take him away from us and take away from the fight that he's been giving us, doing for us.
Unfortunately, if every dollar that he gets in, is not allocated properly, if he gets, $5 too much from a specific, corporate interest group, everything has to be
perfect.
Boom, 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 boom. But you have people like these groups. I'll say, because we were just talking about it with the guys the other day, these families, these global families, these bloodline families that can do no wrong, they are so powerful that they can get away with anything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they can do anything. But because of the fact that, we're of a certain stature and have limited power, if you will, right now, that everything is looked at, everything, and we're still beholden to the American justice system. But you got people out there now that can do whatever and be like, justice system who?
Yep.
I don't go before no judge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
SCOTUS who? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have like people like Ron DeSantis out, and he's one of the top runners for U.S. president.
Mm-mm-mm. Imagine if
And
he
it's just like
imagine,
all a
oh my
game.
God.
It's all a game. You have kids in Alabama that literally did walkouts because of the fact that their school didn't even want them to have a Black History presentations because they wanted to talk about actual Black history and slavery and actually what happened within this country because it made the faculty feel uncomfortable. They put uncomfortable in quotations. I don't care about your comfort.
Exactly.
Are you like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So before I go into my history lesson, Ron DeSantis had a Black band at the what is it, the governor's mansion or something, and he posted, so thankful to be able to celebrate Black History Month, right? So DL posted it, and it was just like, I feel sorry for the band. Like, because it's just like the school or whatever was just like, okay, we have to go and play here. And it's just like, I know that band was just like, oh, hell no. Like, I want to go to that band house.
Exactly.
So Ben Crump is the activist of this time. There's always that person for that time. Shout out to the Until Freedom, who is always on the ground. I think that the reason why they won't put a Tamika Mallory on the same level as a Ben Crump is, one, she's a woman. So I feel like they won't, you know, even though she's there, she's on the front line, I feel like, at the end of the day, she's a woman. But Ben Crump, before him, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson,
Yes, Jesse Jackson, yeah.
Stokely Carmichael, the the Cassius Clay. He didn't want to go to the Vietnam War, and he had to go to prison.
Can you believe that?
He had to go to prison.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. Until this day, I truly feel this in my heart. If Cassius Clay had went to that war, they would have killed him. The American soldier would have killed him and said it was a Vietnamese.
Surprised.
Yeah, too much mouth. They would have.
I wouldn't be surprised. But you
They're
had,
like, get that friendly fire going. They get that friendly fire going.
Yeah.
You had
It'd have been a setup.
Then you had like some of the Malcolms and the Martins. And if you look back to where it all started, it started in the Black church or the mosque. Like, it started to where that was the like home base of where the activism started. And
it was also in the church where activism started, or when they gathered in slavery.
Right.
The church, that's how they were able to get they plans together.
They planned together without the outside ears.
Yeah.
It was just them. And they could plot, plan, strategize, to organize, and then mobilize.
Come on with the eyes. Ha!
Does Killer Mike.
Listen, you know me. You know how I am. I just got this little gripe with this whole thing. So one thing with Black churches, we have inherited the time frame that they was in church from back in the day, because that was their only day of like having a little freedom.
Yeah.
And then so they had to like make all those plans. You need to have like 3-4 hours worth of
services, right?
And we have not gotten the memo that we're not saved anymore. We do not need to be in church 5-6 hours.
You don't need to.
We're not trying to plan on getting on
strategize, organize, and mobilize.
Listen, now we in the era of technology. We can send memos during the week and then come and be like, okay, everybody got it. All right.
Yes.
Now let's go.
When I'm invited to another culture's church, I'm like, yo, keep the car running. We just gonna be in there for 20 minutes.
Hey, a lot of churches have made progress, and they're not in there,
all day.
Yeah, a lot of the churches, because they don't want folks there folks don't want to be in church all day. Yeah. So, but for Ben Crump, I feel like, and then this was for Al Sharpton, and it's just like these men and women are putting their lives, their families' lives, they're putting themselves out there to fight the good fight. And they already have to deal with the government, with white people, the system. What they don't need is their own.
They don't need us.
They don't need their own to make a comment like Stephen Jackson, who was like, they prey on people's pain. And it's just like, huh? These people are there.
He was there from Trayvon.
He's right. So the thing about it is because the cameras go, because he's there, there's a reason why the cameras go there. The Trayvon Martin thing had happened months before. Nobody knew a thing. It wasn't until a tweet that it started to gain nationwide coverage. So you need the tweets and the Instagram posts and the news, the articles to make more people aware, because the more people that are aware, they can make the calls to
accountability. Does not come until people know about it. Because when it's something that's still kept secret or something that's still kept local, people are just like, oh, listen, we could get away with it, don't nobody know. But as soon as a flashlight or a huge police light comes on that joint and everybody now sees what you did, we got to do something, because everybody knows now.
You can't. No, I will argue this to anybody. You can't tell me that the reason why the aftermath of George Floyd happened is because everybody was home. It was COVID. All the stores was closed. Everybody had nothing to do. Everybody was home. And then it's on the news. It was on the news. It was on.
Same thing with Ahmaud Arbery.
Somebody posted it, and it was just like, now all the people that thought that, the Black people they're exaggerating. They just need them to comply. They were able to see.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
they were able to see this man's knee on another man's neck.
Yeah. You know,
Say what you want about Ben Crump, but I am like here.
yes, yes. You know, as you were talking, Shauna, it flashed in my mind that I feel like in 2023, up until this point, the black race has been deemed as the race that's always whining. What about me? And everyone wants us to forget what happened and move forward. And the problem with moving forward is that nothing's been mended yet. We haven't cleaned up the
acknowledged it first. First acknowledge it.
Yeah, and it bothers me even to our own people. Some of us, like those who are going against Ben Crump and feeding on the pain, it's like a lot of people just want to erase what happened in the past, but the problem is erasing what happened in the past doesn't allow us to move forward, because the problem is we still don't have full equality. And unfortunately, my grandchildren may not be able to see full equality for black people. And the reason why full equality will not happen for my grandchildren is because they want to erase our history completely. So the thing is, if someone took you to another planet, and all the blue people on the planet is different colors, and all the blue people on the planet are getting mistreated, they being treated unfairly, but there's no foundation of why these people are getting treated unfairly. It's just everybody's walking around saying, you know what, the blue people are just the bottom of the barrel, and we just don't even know why they're the bottom of the barrel. How are we going to help these blue people if we don't even know what the roots of why they're being treated the way they're being treated? And we're the blue people. And so it just disheartens me that we're at a point where, so it's funny because I saw a video a couple days ago, and you ladies probably see, I don't know if I might have forwarded to y'all, this African young lady, she's straight from Africa. She came to this country, and she was saying initially she couldn't understand why Black Americans just won't let it go. And you guys are just always harping on racism, and racism is just a thing, and you guys allow racism to hold you back. And then she said when she finally sat down and analyzed the situation and saw the mistreatment of Black people in this country, she realized that, wait a minute, this is a problem. So her solution was, yes, I would be upset too, she said, but she still feels like we as a culture need to, yes, acknowledge the racism, but move forward as we're acknowledging it. But I say all that to say is that even now to other cultures who are not Black American are questioning, why are we so humped up on this treatment, the unfair treatment of Black people, and they just feel like we should just move forward and let it go. Everybody wants to those let it go, move forward, and yeah, your Black men are getting shot. Just don't even worry about that. Just keep getting shot, and Black men are having knees put on their necks. Don't even worry about that. And when we go food shopping, or when we as women, we go clothes shopping, people are watching us and thinking that we're trying to rob the establishment. Don't worry about that. Just let it go. It's gonna be okay. Why are you complaining? It happens to everybody. My mother was shopping the other day, and they were watching her shop. So it's just, it just saddens me that we're in 2023 and we are expected to forget our history, to don't acknowledge that racism exists, ignore racism, move on with our lives as Black people, and just hope and pray that one day we'll be treated fairly, because somebody's going to do it.
When you have an elected official in California that tweets, I'll apologize to Black people for slavery when they apologize to me for crime. And you are you're a senator.
That's what I'm talking
about. And you're allowed to stay on this United States Senate.
If he had said that about Jews, girl, that's all I gotta say.
Space Laser said the other day in a live, I know white people that are just as lazy as black people. And see, this is the thing. I really wish that they would say things like that in a forum
But they're not going to.
like this.
You know
In a
they're
forum
not
like this.
going to. You know that. Because they don't want to catch these hands. Like, who's in there?
But no, but see, the thing is, they wouldn't catch hands. They wouldn't catch hands because you
like the literal, but they would
no,
never.
they wouldn't catch literal hands
No, not
because you have
literal.
the mental capacity. You have the mental capacity of my dog.
She would never sit with a Roland Martin.
So
Oh, no.
you know what? See, and this is a problem with our culture because we're not that tweet or that text or whatever he said about the whole,
It was a tweet. It was a tweet.
I'll apologize. See, now other cultures would have shut him the fuck down. He would have been, by the time he got home or wherever, by the time he woke up the next morning, it would have been a bunch of newscasters outside and see, this is when black celebrities cannot do anything because their hands are tied. This is when black celebrities are supposed to be having a news conference and people sitting on podiums and talking about how disrespectful that tweet was. But see, it's still up, so that just shows you how we are so disrespected in this country, and it pisses me off because how dare you? So we're the only culture on the planet that does crimes. That pisses me off.
Exactly. And then another representative. I want reparations from every moron that voted for Biden.
The sad part about it is these are the people who vote.
Yeah.
You heard Dr. Umar talking about the what you call it, the Social Security that Ukrainian refugees will be getting.
Yeah.
So they get reparations because Russia done taught their country,
right?
And we still waiting for reparations. Okay, this is the disrespect, and we have, in 2023, we have to sit there and watch the disrespect right in our face. Right in our face. How many years we've been asking for 40 acres and a mule? All we wanted was 40 acres and a mule, and your country gets towed up, and you can come over here and get SSI.
So I think reparations for Black people has to look different than just a check. I think reparations is making the criminal legal system fair. I think it's the redlining. I think it's the putting the same money in schools in the inner cities, as they call it. I think it's putting the same amount that they do to the school in the suburbs. It's the same funds in the hood. I think that it's even playing field. It's to allow more Black people to get them home loans. It's bigger than just Nino Brown. You know, it's more than just a check. And I don't know if in our lifetime if we'll see that. Now, I can say I am hopeful about your grandchildren because so many of the kids now are interracial. It's not just like the Black and white. It's so many different shades, and everybody is love and in love, and let's just love on each other. So I think that when they're in office, it'll be a totally different thing. And I'm about to say something, and I do not wish this on people. I'm not saying that I want these people to die. That is not what I'm saying. So before y'all say, oh, she said she want them to die. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is all of these people have to die so the next can come in, because all those the good old boys from from the Dukes of Hazzard is still in Congress.
But then freaking Space Lasers is young.
No, I know that, but she will be I'm telling you, she is going to be the minority, because everybody else,
like her and her Space Laser,
but
her
they're the minority. They are the minority. But the thing about the Republicans is one could be as wrong as two left shoes.
Mm-hmm.
They will stand with
they stick together
10 toes down.
They sure do.
They're gonna stand with their wrong. It took 15 times to vote for Kevin McCarthy. He gave away his soul. Mm-hmm. They gonna stick together.
They get on my nerves. But we don't. And unfortunately, the left is so worried about Ukraine, so worried about, and this is, and please don't be writing me and saying I'm transphobic, but they so worried about the LGBTQ plus and they bathrooms. Meanwhile, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they try to take our history out the damn. Like, what? After your history.
You know what? Every time, you know what? We should take away every comb, every brush,
everything that we invented,
refrigerator, because those were all made by Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Take away your comb, your brush, the dustpan, the lights, turn everything, the heat and furnace, turn everything.
The car.
The Black people made.
Everything that they tried to take and say that they made.
Oh yeah.
The patents that they tried to steal and say that they did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get me started. To everyone on the front line, to Tamika, to my son, to Ben Crump, to everyone that does not think that it is robbery to fight for what you believe in.
Yes.
They're fighting for us.
And to those that have something to say, listen, keep that for the meeting. Save that for the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you coming on, tweeting, going on interviews, or putting on your live.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about what they doing? Save that for the meeting.
Message.
Because I don't see you on the front line.
Yep.
I don't see you on the 50-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you on the sideline.
Yep.
I just, I look at something like Colin. He gave up his entire football career for the advancement of Black people.
Yep. That's dope. Because not too many people will do that. Oh, real quick, I was in the patient's house the other day. And I forgot how we got on the subject about LeBron James. It was like a happy-go-lucky conversation. Caucasian dude. And we got on the subject about LeBron James, happy-go-lucky. He said, I like LeBron. I just feel like he just needs to play the game and stop, getting into politics and stop, blah blah. Girl, I'm like, Lord, you know how to keep my mouth
See
shut.
that shut up and dribble? That shut up and dribble.
Yes, basically that's what he was saying. He said it in a nice way. Shut up and dribble. So shout out to LeBron James.
That's right, because he does use.
Yes, he uses his platform. His damn mind.
He does.
Serena Williams.
See how they want us to shut up and dribble. That's what those boys down to.
Serena Williams had to use her platform because she told off this commentator one time. She let her know.
But I do feel like there are more athletes that speak out than
that's true.
Than
celebrity, like
singers and rappers.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but we were talking about it the other day. You have Killer Mike, you have T.I.
Yeah, definitely.
You have
you know what happens?
Hip hop.
The sad part about that is because the way how society has made it where if you say anything to promote Black equality, you better have a clean record. You better not cheat on your wife. You better not have no threesome. You better not have done none of the above. Because whatever you say is erased.
They are sitting there with a time clock. They waiting. Let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7. Like they counting down until they find something.
Mm-hmm. And they put the mirror back in your face. Well, T.I., yeah, you saying all that good stuff for the Black people. Remember when you were tiny and they start putting down his resume and he's like, oh, okay, and then he go back in the corner like, shit, they got me, But that's what they do. They run your resume and like, no, and it discredits anything that you say because of your past. Let me tell you something. It's hard.
You being perfect has nothing to do with you being Black. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is the problem. You could be white and be just as devilish and have just the nastiest disposition, just the nastiest attitude. You stink. You musty. You got bad breath. You're an alcoholic. You beat your wife. You cheat. You have all of these bad flaws. And you guess what?
You don't matter. Because we want to hear what you got to say, sir, Mr. Smith. We got to hear.
But if you Black and you have something to say about anything that has to do with anything regarding the upward movement of your people, you have to be without blemish.
I remember when Obama said, if I had a son, he would probably have looked like Trayvon. And do you remember the hell he caught? Because
after that, he couldn't say anything else. He couldn't say anything else regarding race. He literally had to, in the book that he wrote, he literally had to like walk an even Steven line and not do anything about race after that. Just because he said that Trayvon would have looked like his son.
Because he probably would have, because I could see the resemblance.
Yeah. Yeah, they rolled that Black man's back so hard.
And him and Michelle were the smartest to ever go to the White House. They were the most straight-laced.
He paid the most taxes.
Clean, but like they were all damn near perfect.
Yep. When they did it like a chart of the presidents in the last how many years, Obama had the highest amount of taxes that he paid.
Of course he did.
Like, and you know what bothers me is that
you gotta be without blemish.
You know what bothers me? That everybody else is okay with that. That's the part that bothers me. Everybody's okay with everything, all the negative stuff that we talked about here tonight, including some of our people. There are people who are okay with the fact that that's what we're going through. And they're like, just
forget about it. It's all right.
Too much. Like, we all, what I don't like is everybody's like, we all have the same problems. No, you do not.